All right, so we're going to wrap up the topic of extreme recruiting. What I want to hear from people that watch this video is tactics that you think are borderline, crossing the line in terms of like too extreme for the business, and then what you think is all good and all kosher, and what's fair game in the world of recruiting if you're a client or a candidate.
This applies to all 10 of you.
It's actually 12 now. Okay, what we're going to do in this last segment is talk about an interesting topic. Peter over here is going to be working through his last day here at BINC. Boo, sad. So we're going to be one down for next week. Peter's off to finish his last year at UC Santa Barbara.
Yep.
One more year to go.
Not Stanford?
Not Stanford.
They're faking the funk on that switch? Letting them lie this whole time. Horrible.
No, recruiters don't lie.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
So over the last week, ever since we announced that Peter's going to be having his last day, we've heard a lot of talk around here. Yeah, Peter's great. Peter does like an amazing job as a researcher here at our company. Everyone loves him. No one wants him to leave, right? But at the same time, the same. Well, I read the book card. It said, "I don't want you to leave it." Anyways, no one wants him to leave. Everyone wants him to stay. Everyone's giving him shit, ditch out on school, this and that. Thought we'd spend a few minutes talking about the value of college education.
Oh. Should I leave for this one? Or
No, stay. I want to fight. Value of college education, right? Peter's doing well. He's making money. He could probably make more money if he commits to working full time. He's got a year of school. Got a year of school ahead of him, right? Got to sacrifice like the short term in exchange for the long term, right? Let's hash it out. Should Peter stay? Should Peter go?
Wow, I like this topic.
Yeah.
I'm on board with Peter. I'm on board with as much as I love you, Pete, I am 110% behind you. I think you should go back to college for your senior year.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Absolutely.
So all that talk was bullshit.
Well, I mean, obviously no one wants him to leave, but
Should Mark Zuckerberg have finished his
would anyone
Harvard
really say to
education?
him you've gone through 3 years, don't go back for your 4th year? I mean, that's something no one can ever take away from you. You gotta get a degree, Plus you get a chance to go party in Isla Vista with, I won't say I'll be politically correct on this one, but is this really that much better?
I look at it from the perspective of college is so much more than the certificate. Yeah, it's great to be able to put that on your resume, and it's an important thing in your career and in your life and such, to be able to say, I have college education, I made it through all 4 years in one piece, I even graduated. But there's so much more behind it. It's the life experiences, it's the late night partying, it's the time management of managing partying classes and everything else that goes along with it. Your takeaway will be tenfold over the course of the next year compared to what you could in just one more year of work, because you're going to pick things up.
I just want to throw it out there. I don't know where you guys get the sense that I party. I don't party.
Facebook.
Yeah, no, dude, you're for sure busted there.
Yeah.
But I think you used the example of Mark Zuckerberg. Maybe he's a bit of an extreme example.
There are a lot of extreme examples. I mean, you don't have to be college educated and well into a career path to be a success in life.
And maybe
you can be 15 and know how to build a website and have great ideas.
And maybe that's the point I'm trying to make, is that I don't necessarily go Northwest Missouri State. I don't necessarily think it's so much about the education as it is about the experience. Going to college, being in college for 4 years, all the things that come with that. It's the education, it's the experiences, it's the fun, it's the people, it's everything. College is just a phenomenally fun time, and I think that if you don't go do that, you're shorting yourself those 4 years. I don't think it hurts your career. Pete could absolutely come here tomorrow, be a phenomenal recruiter. He'd make a ton of money working for BINC. He'd probably kick all our butts up and down the street. But at the end of the day, I think college is less about the education and more about the experience. And I think that anybody who doesn't go do at least an undergraduate college experience is just shorting themselves that experience, because I loved my undergrad experience.
Someone who didn't finish, man, go back to school. I know you look at me as, what you want to model your life, 10 years from now. But don't hold on to that, get your college degree.
I think that, I was going to say, I think what the degree actually stands for, more so than what you got a specific degree in, is just like a certificate that you were able to persevere for that long and stick with it.
It's a certificate in survival.
In survival, because it's such a pain in the ass to go to class and to get through year after year, but it just shows that how I stuck out for sometimes 4 years, sometimes 8 years.
That sounds so so down, dude. It's like I was able to like dredge through like the drudgery of like the swamp pit for like 4 years. Now I made it.
There are those highs and there are those lows.
Yeah, it depends where you go, man. That's my experience,
I mean, I think the thing is
I don't think Mark Zuckerberg's having like too bad of a time right now.
No, but I think he's also
worth $1.5 billion and has a $15 billion.
You're right, but so is like the ride of like starting a company or working for whatever it is. I don't know. I mean, if you're gonna like leave college to like do something that's like less of value, then you could argue that one's more worth than the other, right? But it's all a matter of like what you put into it versus what you get out of it.
I mean, there's a difference between people who don't go to college because they're lazy and people who don't go to college because they have a hustle mode that won't allow them to be in a classroom. They want to be out making money.
I think we're really having two separate conversations here. There's the conversation of going to college, having a blast and doing it for 4 years and like getting something out of it, and there's the conversation of do you need college to be successful in your career? As a software engineer, by and large, yeah. I mean, what's the second thing we look at on a resume?
School.
First thing we look at, what company do you work at? Second thing, where'd you go to school at?
100%.
It's a measurement that we use, especially as recruiters, because we're not going to take the time to give you an IQ test. We're just not going to do it. But what we can do is look at what school you went to. And I get the question a lot of, well, what does it matter where I went to school at 15 years ago? It's like a baseline IQ. You were smart enough at 18 years old to get into Stanford. Now, that's not always going to be the case. There are plenty of people who are plenty smart enough to get into Stanford who don't go.
There are
always going to be other ones, but unless mommy and daddy are just phenomenally rich and bought you a spot in Stanford, you got to be smart to get in the doors. And especially in software engineering, raw smarts matters. And that's so I think we're really on two separate conversations here. I love college because I think every 18 to 22-year-old should have that experience and should have living in the dorms and being on their own and building those relationships and doing all those things. And there's the conversation of, do you need college to be successful? Do you need it? No. Is it helpful? Yes.
I think it depends on what you do. If you're like a businessman, you just have like a natural drive to go out there, kick ass, and get the job done. Realistically, you're probably just going to go to college and have a great time, party, meet some good people, make some connections for life, and move on. But realistically, you could probably hit the ground running at 18, 19, and be a salesman, be a business executive, be a marketing guru, whatever you want to be. But if you're doing something very niche, if you want to be an accountant, if you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, a software engineer, you have to go to school. You have to pick up the specific traits that you need, the specific skills that you need.
Education is a tool. You can build a house without 100 different tools, but it's going to be harder. All it does is it challenges you. There's something to be said. I think there's something to be said by doing it with the least amount of tools. But why would you limit yourself? You're away from it. So you gotta get your fucking education.
But I
I
think
have a lot of experience working with tools.
I do.
I think
with you guys every day.
I think also that
They're coming from way.
Ideal setup.
There's also two different ideals of your career track, though. Can you go out and build your own empire without a college education? Yeah, but go try to get hired at Morgan Stanley.
That's true.
Yeah, like
without a college. Well, yeah. Fair enough. But I mean, you guys get the point. Like, go try to get hired on Wall Street without an MBA from Wharton.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
unless you know someone.
Unless you know someone, which is it's 110%. Again, do you need it? No. Is it damn helpful?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you get to have 4 phenomenally fun years.
I think in my point of view, it's kind of just like, I see the light at the end of the tunnel. I might as well cross it, finish it, and be over with it.
If it's like,
you would lose intelligent points on my book if you didn't go back and do it.
Yeah.
What the hell are you thinking?
If you're a couple months in your degree, it's one thing. If you have a great idea and you go to pursue that, but if you're already so far to a certain extent into your degree, just like finish it. I hate when I see people that like take 116 of 120 units and they said, took this much of that for my bachelor's.
And then it's
take
like
the last class.
Yeah, it's like, I'm close enough. I might as well count it.
I could have easily
really
done
doesn't
it.
count.
Yeah.
But, it's like finishing power.
So everyone says go to school. No one wants to be around. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
No one has a good argument for what I'm saying.
No, dude, we just want you to go to school, have a blast, invite us up on a weekend or two, and come back and join us back next year. College degree in hand. That's what we want.
What about night classes?
Online classes.
Actually, no. I'm a big no on night classes because again, it all goes back to I think it's the college experience, not necessarily the piece of paper. Go to college for 4 years. Go to a full 4 year
There's a reason we should hire this guy.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
Okay, let's wrap it up.
Go to school.
Wrap it up. Go to school, man.
Go Bearcats.
Thanks, guys.